Yeah.
The only reason we have killed this man today is because Muslims are dying daily by British soldiers. And this British soldier is an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth.
A young British soldier had just been murdered in the middle of the street and in broad daylight, believed to have been the UK's most public murder, a murder that shocked the entire country to its very core. This is the grim and horrifying case of Lee Rigby. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Wherever you may be in the world right now, hello, my name is Lloyd, and right now, you're watching When Evil Follows.
Rarely have the scales of justice been so tested in the closing stages of such a major trial.
Today's case takes us to England, more specifically, to the metropolitan borough, urban county of Manchester, a vibrant city found in the northwest of England and is home to over 2,812,000 people as recorded in 2024. Manchester continues to grow and thrive as a city, with many of its residents in full-time employment, and even more opportunities than ever given to those who seek further education. With over 6 universities and many more colleges, Manchester is a city that will continue to grow and open its doors for many young smart minds of the future. Lee Rigby was born on the 4th of July in the year of 1987 in Middleton, Greater Manchester, England. He grew up in a loving family, and as a child filled with plenty of energy, he loved sports, football, and hanging out with all of his friends and listening to music. By the age of 16 years old, Lee joined the local army cadets and soon developed a strong passion to serve Queen and country. And by the age of 20, Lee enlisted himself into the British Army and became a drummer in the 2nd Battalion of the Royal Regiment of the Fusiliers. He made many friends. In fact, making strong relationships with others came naturally and easily. He always enjoyed making others laugh, and he was very, very popular and loved amongst his friends and peers. And after completing his training in the army, he was deployed to Afghanistan in 2009. He then later would go on to serve on a security mission in Cyprus before returning back to the UK. And by now, Lee was gaining in self-confidence and experience within the military forces. And even though he was young at this point in his life, he had become a strong and highly respected figure within his battalion. He soon found love with his perfect 1+1, and within the year they married, with a newborn child on the way. And yeah, everything was going really well for Lee. He found love, he was learning new skills, making new friends, seeing the world, and all while serving his country. And that's all he ever wanted to do. He felt like he was helping and making a difference by bringing about peace to other countries in need of calm and support. And to be fair, that's exactly what he was doing. Fast forward 2 years or so, and the date is now the 22nd of May in the year of 2013, when 25-year-old Lee Rigby was walking back from the Barracks in Woolwich in London after a long day's duty at the Tower of London. However, little did he know that he would never make it back home. As he was walking along the street, 2 men driving a car deliberately swerved towards him and ran him over, before launching into a violent and barbaric attack on him. The impact of the car was so severe, Lee Rigby was sent hurtling through the air and flipped over the car bonnet, crashing down and landing on his shoulder, dislocating his arm and breaking his leg. And while he was laying there on the ground in shock, in sheer pain, the 2 men would put the next part of their evil plan into action. The 2 men then jumped out the car. One of the men was holding a 12-inch knife blade, and the other man was armed with a heavy-duty meat cleaver. And guys, what happens next is the stuff of pure horror and nightmares. While Lee was laying on the roadside and still fully conscious, the 2 men began shouting and screaming at Lee, cursing him and chanting. and even blaming him for troubles in other countries around the world. Even more specifically, judging him and accusing him of committing religious crimes. And it was just moments later, these two men, these two highly deluded individuals, brutally hacked away at Lee Rigby's body, stabbing him over and over. And in pure horror and fear, and now bleeding heavily, Lee Rigby screaming out for help as confused onlookers are walking by on the other side of the road. Lee, in total terror, screams out, stop, stop, just please stop. But he was quickly silenced as the man holding the meat cleaver got down on his knees behind Lee. The man then reached over and placed his hand around Lee's mouth to silence his screams, whilst at the same time swinging a meat cleaver into the back of his neck. The first swing of the blade left Lee squealing in sheer panic and in pure pain, as his body was now flinching and twitching out. The second swing of the blade would silence young Lee forever, as they almost decapitated him in the middle of the street. Both men then dragged Lee's lifeless body into the middle of the road and continued trying to behead Lee's dead body while shouting out religious and political slogans.
Moments later, in an extraordinary video captured on a mobile, Adebolajo sought to explain his actions.
The only reason we have killed this man today is because Muslims are dying daily by British soldiers. And this British soldier is an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth.
This footage shows the pair pacing around the body they've pulled into the middle of the road. An eyewitness said they were posing and smirking. When police arrive, Adebolajo charges towards them. We're not showing the moment they were shot by firearms officers, but you can hear what happened. On this video, you can see how close Adebolajo got to them, armed with a machete. Soon after, police have contained them. Half an hour of chaos and carnage is over.
So who were these two men, fully committed and capable of committing such a heinous act? Well, the two attackers were Michael Adebolajo and Michael Adebowale. Both men were British-born Islamic extremists who had been radicalised and had a history of involvement in extremist activities. Both men claimed that they were carrying out a revenge attack in the response to the killing of Muslims by British soldiers overseas. The barbarity of the attack sent shockwaves across the nation, with many people expressing their horror and disbelief in the senseless act of violence. And even the Prime Minister at the time, David Cameron, condemned the murders as a betrayal of Islam and vowed to take action against those who promote extremism and hatred.
Well, the whole country was completely shocked by the murder of Lee Rigby, and the whole country united in condemnation of what happened. And I'm sure everyone will welcome these verdicts today. I think it also shows that we have to redouble our efforts to confront the poisonous narrative of extremism and violence that lay behind these, and make sure that we do everything to beat it in our country.
Unbelievably, the entire incident was captured on camera by confused and fearful onlookers, and then the video images were quickly spread across the social media and all mainstream media news outlets. In the aftermath of Lee Rigby's murder, there was a massive outpour of grief and solidarity from the public, as thousands of people attended vigils up and down the country to pay their respect to the fallen soldier and show their support to his family. The Royal Regiment of Fusiliers also set up a fund to help support Lee's widow and son, who were obviously left completely and utterly devastated at this senseless killing. Adebolajo and Adebowale were both given the chance to come quietly during their arrest, but as soon as the police arrived at the scene, both men ran at the police holding their weapons, giving the police no other choice but to shoot them both in the leg and take order and gain control of the threat. They were both then arrested at the scene of the crime and charged with the killing of Lee Rigby. In the December of 2013, that same year, both men were quickly found guilty in a court of law, and both men were sentenced to serve life in prison without any possibility of parole, meaning neither one of them will ever get out of prison alive. The trial of both killers shed a light on the dangers of radicalisation and the threat that it posed by homegrown terrorism within the UK. It prompted further national conversation about the need to address the underlying conditions and causes of extremism, preventing further action of violence in the future. The murder of Lee Rigby left a lasting impact on the UK and the rest of the world. It served as a stark reminder of the dangers of extremism and the need to remain vigilant against those who seek to spread harm, hatred and terror. Lee's amazing family and friends continue to honour his memory and celebrate his life, remembering him as a dedicated soldier and loving father. The tragic death of Lee also sparked a wave of solidarity and unity amongst the people of the UK, who came together to condemn violence and show support for the Rigby family. It reinforced resilience and strength in the British people in the face of adversity and brought communities closer together in the fight against extremism. Hey there, and thank you for joining us today as we explored the tragic and heartbreaking case of Lee Rigby. And if you found this case interesting, then please remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And don't forget to hit the bell, that way you'll never miss out on any of our up and coming videos similar to this one. Also, please remember to hit the like button, as it's the easiest and simplest way of showing your appreciation. So what do you think to this case? And if you have any thoughts or comments about this case, please feel free to share them in the comment section below. Our thoughts and prayers go out to Lee's family and loved ones as we remember the sacrifice he made in serving his country. And with all that being said, please stay safe, do look after yourself, and I'll see you again real soon, the next time, when evil follows. Bye.